So one of the questions we get asked on a regular basis in conservation is, why are conservation organizations always out there looking for funding? And yes, it's necessary. So let's see if I can explain it to you guys with the help of this little shrub behind me, this nice colorful bush, and help you understand a bit better. So this bush, shrub, plant, tree, whatever you want to call it, is called Lantana Camara. And Lantana Camara is an invasive species in Africa. Now, the first documented record of it coming into South Africa is from Cape Town in the 1850s, when it was brought in as an ornamental plant for gardens from Central and South America. Now, that has far-reaching effects, because when a species like that comes into a new ecosystem, it's got no enemies. There's no population control. So what the people didn't realize back then is all these trees was going to spread like wildfire, and that's exactly what happened. Now, because there's no active population control, this is the result. We've got one growing over there, we've got a whole bunch growing over there, we've got one over here. This thing encroaches on everything. Now, this plant has got some attributes that makes it very difficult to deal with. So number one, it is poisonous. So if for herbivores or browsers, animals that eat leaves, if they eat the leaves, they can end up with liver failure. It is also poisonous to humans. So now we have to, in order to restore the ecosystem to what it was and to perform proper conservation, we need to get rid of these plants. And in order to get it out becomes a bit of a challenge. Because what needs to be done is we need to go in, stop it from the outside, because you can see how bushy it is, and get to the main stem and cut it off on the ground. But the problem is, once you just cut it off, it regrows. So we have to paint the stump with a herbicide, and you can't spray it over everything, so you have to locally paint it by hand just on that stump, just to kill that species of tree. That's very labor intensive. So in order to perform proper conservation, we have to get people into the reserve to go in there by hand and chop these things down and paint them. But it doesn't end there, because as you're working and you're chopping it down, little pieces and seeds and stuff still go everywhere. So next year they start growing again. So it is this continuous cycle. And because this is such labor intensive work, people need to be paid to do the work. And that is how a reserve like this also benefits the local community. We bring people in from outside, we give them honest work, they come in, they help us get rid of these trees. But now keep in mind, this is a 10 or 15 year plan to get rid of the specific species, or even just to control it. That in itself has got a positive effect on the reserve, because you're getting rid of the invasive aliens. It's making it easier for animals to move. There's more food, so you raise your carrying capacity, which means there can be more animals. And it also has an effect on the surrounding communities, because with unemployment being a massive problem in Africa, projects like these are providing employment opportunities for the local communities. So now you can see how contributing to conservation does not just support conservation in animals, but also betters the communities around the reserves. And when the communities are well looked after, then we don't have as much problem with poaching and snares and things like that. Now, you might ask, why does tourism not support projects like this? Well, it does, but it's not enough. And that is why conservation organizations are always out there looking for funding. I hope that example makes it a bit easier to understand why there's always a fight for funding for conservation. So if you guys found this interesting, drop us a like and a subscribe, share this video. Let's get the word out there. And by supporting this project, you're not only supporting conservation, you're also supporting the local community and help us look after this beautiful reserve. Have a good day.